Hey everyone, what's going on? It's James, and welcome to the second video on my What It's Like video series, where I talk about what it's like to live with certain conditions and other health issues. So today I'm going to talk about what it's like to live with chronic physical pain. So I've been experiencing chronic pain in pretty much my whole body for about the last few years. Basically, I knew something was definitely wrong around mid-summer of 2017, where I just started experiencing a bunch of just pain in my muscles and my joints, and just pain that I really couldn't explain where it was coming from or why it was occurring. I've always been pretty physically active and used to muscle soreness from working out in sports and other physical activities. So I know what that is like, and this was something that was just completely different. I was basically experiencing a level of pain that didn't correlate with my activities. It was just more pain than I should have been in. Regarding what I was doing as far as just working out and exercising and stuff like that. I ended up going to a bunch of different doctors, specialists, stuff like that, to try to kind of figure out what was going on. And to this day, I still don't know exactly what all the pain and also the numbness is coming from. I do experience numbness now, mostly my upper extremities, but also my legs as well on occasion. I pretty much lose feeling in my hands multiple times throughout the night when I'm sleeping, and it's usually the side I'm sleeping on that my fingers and hands end up eventually going numb. But this, I believe, is due to some type of nerve compression. So it's just, I don't know if it's really related to all my physical symptoms, but I think it's somehow correlated. And I've also noticed too that I've just basically lost a range of motion too in a lot of my joints. Like, I have trouble really moving any of my joints to a full, what I consider healthy range of motion. So for example, my shoulders, both sides, particularly the right side, super tight. Like, I try to externally rotate, I can barely go past here. I can't really bring my arm up farther than about here in flexion. And then if I want to keep going, I really have to kind of compensate, start to twist my body and just everything. And I can't just directly bring my arm straight back. I really have to bring it out to the side. So also, I believe, the range of motion or limited range of motion is also something that's related to this pain syndrome. And the lack of range of motion is probably causing some of the pain, but I feel like it's, chicken or the egg. It's like, what came first? Was it the pain or the limited range of motion? So I'm not really sure. But basically, as far as any type of diagnosis. So I was diagnosed, I guess, with a few different things. First, they thought I had some type of arthritis due to one of my GI disorders or symptoms, and I don't actually believe that was a correct diagnosis, because I haven't had any of those GI issues for a couple of years now. Yet I still have all this pain, so I don't think it's related to that. I was also seeing a naturopathic doctor who thought I had Lyme disease and a couple other tick-borne illnesses, and I also don't really think that's an issue. There's unfortunately a lot of false positives and false negatives with those tests, and supposedly if you do have Lyme, or they consider chronic Lyme, then there's really no specific set of treatment as far as like really trying to get rid of that. Basically what they did for me was just a bunch of holistic stuff that didn't do anything for my pain. And then we tried some pretty harsh antibiotics, and that didn't do anything. And I was on those for a few months and had to come off because it was shooting my liver. My liver enzyme markers were through the roof, and those antibiotics were super liver toxic, so it was not something sustainable that I could be on, nor would I want to be on for a while. And I also tried a few other medications to see if that would help with like the arthritis like symptoms, and nothing really helped. So tried that, and then around the beginning of this year I saw a different rheumatologist, and they diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. So that's basically kind of like a widespread pain syndrome, and it's I guess widespread pain and having certain tender points located on the body, or it's basically the main symptom of fibromyalgia. But then there's other ones that are related to fibromyalgia, symptoms like fatigue and brain fog, and various other things I guess that can come along with it. And like the chronic Lyme disease, I also think that's kind of I don't really know if that's a real thing. I mean, yeah, granted, it's been out in medical literature. People, a lot of people say they have fibromyalgia, but it's not really a diagnosis that I want, or at least that I believe in, because supposedly if you have fibromyalgia, there's nothing you can do, as far as I know, in order to make it better or to get rid of it. So I tend to not really believe or go along with that as far as it being the main cause of my pain issues. I feel like it's kind of like a cop-out thing where people, if they can't figure out what else is wrong with you as far as diagnosis, then they say you have fibro. And again, I'm not trying to make light of the condition or anybody that has it. It's just something that I think that, there's other stuff going on. I feel like I started really developing a lot more of this pain around the time I was starting on my vision issues. So I feel like a lot of my physical pain is kind of being perpetuated by the chronic emotional stress and everything that my vision issues have caused me. I feel like it's starting to, all the emotional things are basically starting to manifest itself into physical issues. So I've been really trying to work hard to not let my vision issues and everything else stress me out. I mean, it's just put my stress, anxiety through the roof. Also, obviously, it's caused me a lot of depression, but which I feel like all that stuff kind of fuels the physical pain. So it's kind of a vicious cycle, and I'm trying to just get in a better mindset and hoping that that will help alleviate some of my physical pain. I've also been trying to do a lot more stretching and whatnot, and just trying to get the range of motion back in my joints, just doing anything, foam rolling, self massage, just whatever I can do in order to try to alleviate some of that chronic muscle tension that I have pretty much throughout my whole body. I know I have some issues too with my spine, which is probably not helping. I do believe I have a few herniated lumbar discs from years of heavy lifting with not so great form when I was younger, which I believe attributes to most of my spine issues. And I also have some cervical degeneration in my neck, which I feel like is due to different things, probably mainly to training jiu-jitsu, as it's definitely kind of rough on the neck and cervical spine, and I've been doing that for about 10 years. So I feel like that probably plays a part in it as well. I guess despite being, in this chronic physical pain, I'm still, I'd say, pretty physically active. I've learned that I'm pretty much going to be in physical pain regardless if I am physically active, or if I'm not. So I choose to stay physically active just because I'd rather, stay in shape, be strong, and it's just also good for my mental well-being. All the exercise and the martial arts and all that stuff that I do, it's it's not just good for my physical well-being, but also mentally. It's a great stress reliever. It makes me feel better and all that stuff. And plus, most of that stuff is not very visually intensive, so it's things that I can do while being visually impaired. So that's why I choose to stay as active as possible. But don't get me wrong, I mean, being in physical pain makes doing exercising and being physically active way more difficult, and it makes me less motivated lots of times to do that stuff. But for the most part, I just push through it and do it anyway. Here's a few recent pictures of me. So, at the gym. So, I'd say I'm still, keeping in fairly good physical shape, regardless of all my pain issues. Been able to increase or at least maintain my physical strength, going through all this. So, I'm pretty happy about that. And I try not to let the physical pain be an excuse for me to, be out of shape or just let my body go. It's, because like I said, I'm gonna be in pain regardless anyway, so might as well be active. So for anybody else out there who's suffering from chronic pain, maybe were diagnosed with fibromyalgia, maybe some other condition, I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments as far as, what you're dealing with and how your pain started and, your diagnosis and everything, because it's, to me it's very interesting. It's something I'd like to learn more about because, my hopes is someday that this pain will get better, and maybe I can find kind of like what the root cause of it is, or I believe it's probably due to a combination of different things. So, just working to address these multiple issues or things that are triggering this pain in order to, decrease it and just, live a better quality of life. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or whatever, just feel free to write them in the comments, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm just starting this out, and I would like to eventually, maybe make some money off of this, as it's just been tough for me to work lately, mainly due to my vision issues. So it would be great if I could somehow, make some income off of this. I mean, it's not my ultimate goal of doing this. I like making these videos and I like spreading awareness about different issues, but it'd be great to maybe someday be able to somewhat make a living off this. I mean, who knows? It's not. I don't think it's in the cards, but I would love to be able to do that someday, and because I enjoy making these videos. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.